7 years. 7 years of waking up every morning, hoping, and going to bed every night, wondering. 7 years of watching everyone around me become a mother, while I smiled and celebrated them. And through all of it, I had 5 fibroids inside me, and I didn't even know. Hi, my name is Busola, and welcome to Reproductive Health for Girls, the channel where I bring my clinical background as a clinical embryologist, my training as a fertility care strategist, and my personal story together, so that you are empowered, informed, and never have to walk into your doctor's office feeling lost or alone. Today, I want to share something deeply personal, my fibroid and infertility story. And I am sharing it because I know some of you are living it right now. I was a clinical embryologist, working in reproductive health, and I had no idea I had fibroids. That tells you how quietly they can live inside you. 2 years into my marriage, my husband and I were trying to conceive. It just wasn't happening. My boss, the incredible Professor Giwa at Omni Medical Center, he looked at me one day and said, "You cannot be working in reproductive health and suffering in silence. Have you done any tests?" I said, "No." He said, "Let's get to it." I went for a scan, and right there I saw them. 4 fibroids, multiple fibroids. And the biggest one was sitting right at the mouth of my cervix. And here is the thing. Looking back, the signs were always there. In university, every single period, I could not attend class. The pain would start and just take over my body. I wore black. Every time I was on my period, I wore black because I was terrified of being stained. I grew up in Nigeria, attended one of the sought universities in Nigeria, and if you know Nigerian public universities, you know that accessible bathrooms were not always a given. So sometimes I just stayed home. I thought that was just my normal. I thought painful periods were just what women go through. Nobody told me that pain that keeps you from living your life is not normal. Now, my professor told me something important. He said, "The fibroids are not stopping you from conceiving, but when it is time to deliver, you will not be able to have a vaginal birth." And I want to pause here for the women watching who have fibroids and are worried about getting pregnant. Fibroids don't always stop conception, but their location and size matter a lot, which is why knowing your body is everything. So we started our fertility journey, and while that was happening, I also started making changes. We changed our cookware. We reduced processed foods. We added more vegetables, more whole meals, more fruits. We started air frying instead of deep frying. I reduced my chemical exposure. And then, when we relocated to Australia, something unexpected happened. The weather was so harsh on my hair that I stopped using relaxers. Not because of fibroids, just because my hair was breaking. But months later, 6 maybe 7 months later, I noticed something. The bleeding was lighter. The pain was almost gone. And about 6 to 7 months after I stopped using relaxers and joined my husband in Australia, I got pregnant. I am not removing the place of God in this story. My husband and I are firm believers in Christ. But we also believe preparation meets opportunity, and we had been preparing. Now, pregnancy with fibroids. Let me tell you what that looked like. Every trimester, at least twice, I would have this pain. It would start in my lower abdomen, radiate all the way to my back. Sometimes it was so intense I had to crouch, just to walk. Sometimes I would sit on the toilet, not because I needed to, just because that was the only position where I could breathe through the pain. That was the fibroids and the baby, essentially competing for space and blood supply. And then came the conversation every woman with fibroids dreads. My gynecologist looked at me and said, "Madam, we have to do a classical C-section, and I am the only one willing to do it because one of your fibroids is sitting near a major artery. Any mistake could be fatal." I sat with that, and then I said, "Okay, we trust God. We believe God, and we will do our part." My husband and I fasted, we prayed. We literally spoke to our baby by name. We told him, "You are not coming until the doctor is ready." And on the day of the scheduled C-section, labor started on its own. The baby was trying to come, and the fibroids were in the way. We rushed to the hospital. I could barely walk. And just like that, everything moved fast. They wheeled me in, and by the grace of God, my baby was born. No excessive blood loss, no complications. After 7 years, I held my child. We had a second pregnancy, a miscarriage in between, and then by God's grace, a second baby. Same journey, same prayers, same faith, same preparation. Different country, this time Canada. But God was consistent. And I didn't lose blood. I didn't have complications. And my son had a sibling. And then 2.5 years after my second baby, I went to the bathroom one day, and I noticed something pass. A small clot. Small, the size of a coin. I called my women's health doctor friend. She said, "That could be one of your smaller fibroids that just expelled itself." Ladies, I want you to hear this. I never had a myomectomy. I never had a hysterectomy. My body, with consistent, intentional lifestyle changes, began to heal itself. I know some of you watching this are dealing with fibroids right now. Some of you have been told you can't conceive. Some of you are in pain every single month. Some of you have watched everyone around you have babies and you are still waiting. I see you.
I am so happy for everyone.
I was you.
Truly.
And if your fibroids are large, if surgery is necessary, that is also okay. The goal is always your quality of life, your health, your future. This channel exists so that when you sit across from your doctor, you have questions, you have language, you have confidence, because you deserve that. In the next video, I am going to be talking about why Black women are at a significantly higher risk of developing uterine fibroids, and what the research actually says. You do not want to miss that one. If this video spoke to you, please share it with a woman who needs to hear it. Subscribe so you don't miss what is coming next. Drop a comment. Tell me, did you relate to any part of my story? And if you want to join our free private community where we go even deeper on reproductive health, the link is in the description. My name is Buzola, and this is Reproductive Health for Girls, where knowledge is power, and you deserve both.